JBNN, we keep you informed. I am Michelle Jones, and in the news, 13-year-old girl stabs 19-year-old brother to death. The St. James police are investigating the circumstances surrounding the death of 19-year-old Noel Demetrius, whose 13-year-old sister allegedly stabbed during a dispute at their home in Irwin, St. James, this morning. Reports are that shortly after 9 a.m., the siblings were at home with other family members when an argument developed between them. The unemployed Demetrius reportedly started to beat his younger sister, who reached for a knife and allegedly inflicted a wound in the region of his chest. Demetrius was rushed to the Cornwall Regional Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. 4 killed in West Kingston violence. 4 men were shot and killed in West Kingston yesterday. In an incident at approximately 5 p.m. on Luke Lane, 42-year-old Randy Robinson and 31-year-old driver Terence Forsyth, otherwise called Stammer, were killed, and 2 other men are reportedly nursing gunshot wounds. Robinson was visiting relatives and was accosted by unknown assailants who shot and killed him, during which the other 3 men were shot, with Forsyth also succumbing to his injury. Meanwhile, at approximately 9 p.m., Emilio West, a 34-year-old upcoming artist, and 37-year-old Anthony Davis of Chestnut Lane in Tivoli Gardens were killed in what residents say are reprisal attacks. 4 other persons were injured in that shooting. The West Kingston Police Division has recorded 5 murders since the start of this year, 2 fewer than the 7 recorded for the corresponding period last year. Farmer found dead in Muckle, Clarendon. The body of a 68-year-old man was found on a plantation where he worked in Whitney District in Muckle, Clarendon on Sunday morning. Everton Allison, otherwise called Jano, a farmer from Richmond Park District in Muckle, was found dead by residents who embarked on a search after he had not been seen for several days. Police said preliminary investigations revealed that Allison was last seen on Thursday, sometime in the morning, going to the farm where he worked. He had not been seen or heard from since, which arose the suspicion of residents. However, no missing person report was made. Police reported that about 8 a.m. Sunday, concerned residents commenced a search, during which the body of the now deceased was found on the plantation and the authorities summoned. On arrival of the police, Allison's partially decomposed body was identified. Police said he was clad in a grey t-shirt and blue jeans pants, and the body was seen lying face down on the ground. The police were unable to say if any foul play was suspected. Krampus lethal fall from truck leaves family in pain. 2 days after celebrating his 25th birthday, Javon Krampus Gibson was on call at work when he fell from a moving truck on Wednesday, January 18, and hit his head on Waterloo Road in St. Andrew. Javon was then rushed to the University Hospital of the West Indies, where he was treated and released late Wednesday evening. His family assumed all was good until they had to rush him back to the hospital Friday morning. That time, the West Kingston man did not make it back home. Javon was pronounced dead about 3 a.m. on Saturday. "We don't have any x-rays. Nothing being done. Then just give him medication and send him out the same day later in the night. He had a cut on his head back and him stitch it up. He also had some bruises on his face. Wednesday night when him come out, he was there good. He was talking consciously and everything," Javon's twin brother Devon said last Thursday. The Thursday he was good. Him sleep Thursday morning, go right into the night. At one point, he got up and went on the veranda, and him couldn't even stand up too long. It is like him nerves them mash up. After that, I just bear sleep and sleep. He not even want to eat. We have to force him to eat. We had to force him to eat and take him pills. But I was talking to him and he was corresponding with me, he said. Devon said that their mother, Claire Grant, has been deeply affected by the untimely loss. He, on the other hand, admitted that he tries not to speak about it at all for his own peace of mind. "We never expect anything like this. Right now, my mind not even there right there, so. Him and my twin brother and him born first. Me not even like to talk about it. My mother, every day she get up and ball. They shock the family, the whole family shock," he said. "Me and my brother living at the same house. We sleep on the same bed, eat out of one plate and wear one another clothes. Everything. We went to the same primary school and then different high school. Him go Denham Town and me go Greenwich all age." Wistfully, Devon recalled the last time he saw his twin brother on the morning of Friday, January 20, before he was rushed back to the University Hospital of the West Indies. "When he wake up Friday morning, we give him a cup of soup for drink. Them seen blood, him knows that it was blood that come out. It was thick blood, so they had to end up rushing him back to the hospital. Him start to talk bare foolishness," he said in a dejected tone. Their mother, Grant, was present with Giovanni at the hospital. When I went back up there with him, them done x-ray and saw that his skull was cracked. He didn't even know himself at that point. They had to tie him down on a bed. This could have been treated from Wednesday and them sent him out. He said that the family wished not to name the company to which his brother was employed. He said the family is satisfied thus far with how the company has handled the tragic situation. The company has arranged for a 9-night funeral, Devon said. Them said that after the funeral, them talk about compensation. My mother said she wasn't ready to talk about it, so after the funeral, they'll talk about that. Senate approves traffic ticket reprieve bill. The Upper House on Friday passed the Road Traffic Reprieve and Nullification of Prescribed Notices Act 2023 after intense debate, as opposition senators sought to convince the government to amend the expiration date of the bill from January 31 to April 30, or start afresh with the new Road Traffic Act relieving motorists of all offences accrued since February 2018. Motorists with outstanding traffic tickets since February 1, 2018 have only a couple of days of legal protection from prosecution, as the reprieve bill, not yet enacted up to Friday, is set to expire on Tuesday, January 31. Opposition senators, as your colleagues did in the lower house on Thursday, lost their bid to have the expiry date amended to give those who owe a longer period of protection under the law. The government has argued that delinquents have had sufficient time since February 2018 to make good on their traffic tickets and would therefore not be afforded more time to pay. The traffic court has been inundated in recent weeks, with thousands of persons rushing to pay, some being given dates months away to return to court. Leader of Government Business in the Senate, Kamina Johnson-Smith, explained that offences under the old Road Traffic Act, once the law comes into effect, are now deemed to be offences under the 2018 Act, so they'll start to be prosecuted in that regard, adding, "This is not a perfect solution for transition, but it will deal with millions of tickets, millions of demerit points. It will ensure that many people, that persons who have had very few and very small infractions, will start with a clean slate, and it is our hope that it will allow for a resetting of the button of public order on the roads, not only for taxi drivers, but for everyone who drives in an indisciplined manner and do not follow the road code." Opposition Senator Lambert Brown argued that what we're doing now is akin to putting the 1938 Act into the 2018 Act. I agree about the need for safety on our roads. I agree that we want order on the roads, but the failed system that we're trying to clean up ought not to be proceeded with. Really and truly, what we should do is just call a halt and start brand new. Furthermore, instead of persons were to challenge the tickets accumulated over the years, it was improbable that the state would be able to successfully prosecute all offenders. The reality is we need to admit our failing in government. The system has failed, and governments didn't do the enforcement that was needed. Let's start with the new legislation and let us enforce. The bill gives persons a period of reprieve to address outstanding matters for the motoring public in respect of notices issued prior to February 1, 2023 under Section 116 of the Old Road Traffic Act. Outstanding tickets issued prior to February 1, 2018 and demerit points accrued up to February 1 will be null and void and not carried over to the new law, which will come into effect on February 1. For all tickets which are paid by January 31, 2023, the demerit points are to be expunged. Police take aim at illegal motorcycles, with motorcyclists being the leading category of fatalities among the nearly 500 deaths on the nation's road last year. The police are gearing up for an island-wide clampdown on illegal motorcycles as the new Road Traffic Regulations 2022 take effect this week. Last year, motorcyclists accounted for roughly 29% of road users killed, with 142 of the 488 fatalities, according to preliminary figures from the Road Safety Unit in the Ministry of Transport. This, however, was a 14% decline in fatalities linked to motorcycles compared with 2021 data. Motorcyclists are a major concern, having been the highest category of road users that have been killed on our roads, and sad to say, many of the crashes are due to human error. Assistant Commissioner of Police Gary McKenzie, head of the police's Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch, PSTEB, noted last week. Many of them who ride motorcycles do so without helmets, with their cycle defective due to modification or speed excessively. There are concerns, but we have plans in place to deal with these concerns, he said. McKenzie is confident that the new Road Traffic Act, which was passed in the Houses of Parliament in 2018, and the regulations finalized last year, will enable the police to exercise greater authority over the operation of motorcycles on the island's roadways. Under the law, an applicant must do a road test to be granted a provisional driver's license for a motorcycle. Additionally, the licensee cannot carry a pillion and must have someone with a motorcycle driver's license accompanying them within 6 meters while on the roadway. More importantly, We aim to take all the motorcycles that are not properly accounted for in our tax administration Jamaica registry, because some of these motorcycles did not come into the island legally, and for others, when they are licensed once, there's a tendency not to renew their license, said the P-Step head. The police are also taking a serious look at the forfeiture of illegal motorcycles, where once a driver is placed before the courts and convicted, an application will be made to the Crown for the vehicle to be forfeited. The situation is rather complex for residents of several communities in Hanover and Westmoreland, where a motorcycle is the only means of transportation, which has created an unregulated bike taxi system for more than 50 years. According to one bike taxi operator who earns a living transporting passengers from Orange Bay in Hanover to communities like Cave, Santoy, Marshtown and Logwood, he and his colleagues have made attempts to legalize their system, but to no avail. We want to be legal, but Transport Authority not budging, the operator said. Yet nothing is in place to take the people in, only bikes. It is a similar cry for bike taxi operators in Westmoreland, the deadliest parish for motorcyclists. Even if there was a taxi route, not all car drivers are willing to go where a taxi will go, noted Beverly Garnett, a hotel worker in Negril. The bike taxis take my children to school, and I can rely on them to take me to catch a staff bus. Our only problem is when rain falls. When contacted, Merdina Callum, acting communications manager at the Transport Authority, said there was no such thing as a bike taxi, seemingly dismissing the realities being faced by some rural communities. While very few of the accidents involve motorcycles that are operated as taxis, ACP Mackenzie also said that bike taxis are illegal. There are those who modify the motorcycles to carry more than the prescribed number of people, without considering the danger for themselves and other users of the road, but will continue to ensure that our roads are safe for all, the P-Step boss warned. The 150cc is the top-selling motorcycle in the most westerly parishes at an average cost of $175,000. But while it has been a financially rewarding investment for Westmoreland-based auto dealer Sebastian Troop, he is hoping that more stringent laws will stem the high rate of fatalities and the blatant disregard for the road code while not choking his business. The road deaths, especially involving bikes, are at a frightening level, and while I'm concerned, I'm in the business of selling bikes, said Troop, who has been involved in auto sales for more than 20 years. The government must put the necessary laws in place to reduce the craziness on our roads, but whatever is done should not be affecting my bottom line. Unlike motor vehicle purchases, where the relevant documents must be presented before the seller can release the unit, a customer seeking a motorcycle is only required to show proof of age. Troop said that while people are willing to buy bikes, most have no interest in helmets. Westmoreland was the island's deadliest parish for road users in 2022, despite a slight reduction from 2021. In 2021, the parish recorded 53 fatal collisions and 56 deaths, with 31 of the crashes involving motorcycles. 52 people died from the 42 accidents recorded last year, 24 of which were motorcyclists. Hopeful Village moms gifted 3-bedroom houses. When cookshop operator Thea Jones's cousin died leaving her son behind 9 years ago, she did not hesitate to take him in. Although she was living in a 1-bedroom structure with her mother and her own biological son in Hopeful Village, St. Andrew, the 34-year-old woman said that a few years ago, she went to the offices of her St. Andrew Southern Member of Parliament Mark Golding seeking assistance for housing. She was placed on a list, and on Wednesday, Jones and 2 other needy mothers, Nicola Hall and Carla Downer, living meters from each other along Nether Soul Drive in Hopeful Village, were presented with their new 3-bedroom houses under the government's new social housing program. Although I waited a while, I must say it has eventually come true, and I'm extremely grateful for this new house, said a beaming Jones as she stood outside her new unit, waiting for Prime Minister Andrew Holness and Golding, who is also the opposition leader, to officially hand her the keys. We don't have to bungle up on one bed again. All away, me and the boys can have our own rooms now, Jones said. Her mother, Colleen Dunbar, said that she's elated that Jones has received her own home, and the single room in which the 4 previously all lived would now be hers alone. Hall, a 33-year-old mother of 3, also expressed her gratitude to Holness and Golding. My living condition before was not as beautiful as this house, which I'm grateful for, she said. She, too, previously lived in a 1-bedroom dilapidated board house with her 3 sons. When the house was destroyed by a fire in 2009, she went to live with relatives, but later got frustrated with those living conditions and sought assistance from Golding's office. Downer, who works as a domestic helper, said she sought assistance with a house over 8 years ago. Me da living on one room, me and my daughter. It was really bad outside bathroom. I'm not thankful for the inside bathroom. That is the main thing, she said. She explained that she would often get scared when she awoke at nights and wanted to use the bathroom. You know, when you live in the ghetto, nothing really go on and so forth. You don't have no choice but to do what you have to do, she said, noting that it has been difficult trying to move out of the inner city community. You can't go outside go pay rent because rent is dear. I tried it 4 times already and I had to come back, so I'm glad for the house. I appreciate it 100%, Downer said. Wholeness, in a message to the women, encouraged them to care for the units. We formalize the handover in a contract. We call it a social contract. It is really an outward expression and acknowledgement that the beneficiary has certain duties when it comes to this unit, he said. It specifies the care the beneficiary has to ensure that the property is maintained. It specifies that the beneficiary must use the unit for the purpose to which it is given. So we don't want you to take the unit and turn it into a shop or a beauty salon. And we have even had cases where people, having gotten the benefit, not from under this program, from another program, turn around and rent the property. And certainly, we don't want that, Holness added. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share. Leave us a comment and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.